It wasn't the significant voice, but this evening's votes do include importance by themselves. At first away, Labour's option to by the government's schedule for Brexit was discarded by Parliament. How Tool, quickly and solidly, backers of Else plebiscite will shove the side to supporting Else social voice really rapidly. Jeremy Corbyn told in the ramifications, we will behind a social voice in procedure to hinder a injuring Tory Brexit or a fatal no transactions result. But he went on to tell, we will as well go on to shove for some accessible options to hinder those outcomes, consisting a shut economical relation relying on our plausible option schedule or a general poll. It remnant the instance how time in lot of the Labour side down there is a powerful consumer demand to claim and campaigning for Else plebiscite, in procedure to try to remain in the EU, the Leeds office space has considerable doubts on how some accessible options, everything those may be, include not disappeared. But its potential how, while a Labour backbench schedule to strengthen Else voice emerges, for sample, if a suggestion of MPs Peter Kyle and Phil Wilson comes up for a voice, Jeremy Corbyn will go by enormous blood pressure to swinging over it. And one key term of the dark office this evening forecasted how will be the way the side chooses to begin. Though the dark chancellor implicit the management by itself could put the schedule striker, John McDonnell told, while the significant voice comes behind, and we're said perhaps how will be March 12th, down there are rumors it could be following 1 week, how's the period we'll include to put the correction upwards. Recall although, down there are many decades of Labour MPs who fair dong trust Else plebiscite is the order item to do. This evening's votes show some essential things. First of all, down there is a definition in Parliament to hinder the UK outgoing the EU out of a transactions. The Cooper correction, that substantially formalised the options to latency Brexit laid down out by the PM yesterday, was gone extraordinarily. Secondly, although, down there was a considerable quantity of Tory MPs who abstained. How's acute evident allusion how if and while the House of Commons has the opportunity to voice to hinder a not deal and helmet the brakes on instead of, down there will be a really powerful Tory impedance. One office secretary told over present down there is fair no path how widening the Brexit trial would go via on Tory votes won, though if the House of Commons as a entire makes House election, as is potential. Finally, about 20 Tory MPs elect versus the concept generally, a remind for the PM, in the hardly occasion how she very necessary at, how down there is a mandrill of Brexiters who are potential to voice versus her transactions go Hades or top water supply. Or, in theoretical, though if the transactions is gone, they might be produced for House spot to remove supporting for by the government in wrath. These votes were not the showdown how had been forecasted. And it's unfeasible to say flatly how the results will form the week's front. But for both of side leaderships, down there are training session in how the numbers shook downward.